Imagine a world where someone has the nerve to use their own hard-earned money to buy a two-wheel drive Tacoma. Yucky. Imagine a country in that same world where that person has the nerve to off-road their Prerunner. Ugh. Imagine a city in that very country where that same person has the nerve to mod their Prerunner. I know. Imagine a street in that city where that same person, the nerve, enjoys the mods they did to their Prerunner and actually likes to wheel it hard. What has the world come to?
Welcome back to the Tacomaholic channel, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I'm going to make your day just a little bit better by cordially inviting you personally to subscribe to the channel and enjoy a moment of zen every time I upload a video.
Yes.
You're welcome. So a few days ago, I did upload a video of one of my buddies who does have a Prerunner wheeling it pretty hard at a local trail. Go ahead and check that out if you have not already. It's a pretty popular video, whether you enjoyed it or whether you can't understand for the life of you why someone would want to mod and wheel their two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive Prerunner Tacoma. So today we're going to have a little bit of a discussion. It should be pretty fun down in the comments below on why you think anyone in their right mind would want to mod and wheel their Prerunner. So if you did not know, a Prerunner Tacoma is just a rear-wheel drive truck. It is not 4x4. Some of them do have a rear locker though, which does make a world of difference. And the others, I think like the TRD Sports in that video I linked to, have the limited slip differential, which is better than open, but not quite as good as locked. That is what a Prerunner is, just a rear-wheel drive Tacoma. Tons of them out there, tons of them modded, tons of them even off-roading. So before we really dive in, comment below on if you have a Prerunner and why you love modding and off-roading your Prerunner Tacoma. Now, I will be going over sort of like a small checklist of why it could be a good idea if you have a Prerunner to go ahead and mod and off-road it, but also comment below, let me know why you think it is not a good idea. Remember, don't be a hater. Just because you have a 4x4 doesn't mean you're better than someone who just has two-wheel, rear-wheel drive. Try to keep it civil, and just remember that at the end of the day, if you want to mod your Tacoma, no matter what trim model it is, go for it. It's your money, you earned it, working hard, hardly working, either way, you can spend your money however you want and enjoy your truck. Also, if you have never seen a Prerunner Tacoma in action, it's one of those things, don't knock it until you've tried it, or in this case, until you've seen it. Also on that same trail from that video, I do have a little more footage, not a lot, because my buddy with the Prerunner, he was in the front of the line, because with the Prerunner, you can get over some obstacles you might not think you'd be able to get over, but of course you might have to carry a little more momentum, so we had him leading, so I didn't really get to record some of these steep inclines he made it up, but they were rocky, they were muddy, and he didn't really have a lot of leeway to really get up to speed on a lot of those, and I was amazed that he was able to get up a ton of those obstacles without needing to be winched or even take multiple tries. He was just up it, we followed him, everything was good to go. I do encourage you, if you've never seen a Prerunner, go off-roading with one of your buddies, check it out, and I think you'll be pretty amazed with the results of just rear-wheel drive in a Tacoma and what it's capable of. Okay, so you can't really talk about why it's good to mod and use your Prerunner Tacoma without really starting with racing, specifically like desert racing, like down in Baja, California, Mexico. And I see a lot of people who aren't into like the racing circuit have fun, you know, Utah, Arizona, all those states that have like a sandy, flat, open terrain. Not really practical here in Northern Virginia, since the terrain's mostly forested with rocky terrain and hills. But if you haven't seen any of those desert racing trucks, they're all Prerunners, I believe, and even if they're not, there are still a ton of people who do the exact same thing, like on sand dunes. They like to go jump their truck, and most of the time they are just Prerunners, and it is a specific build, usually with like long travel in mind, to obviously absorb that impact. If you are jumping your truck, you need to be able to absorb that impact, have that extra travel, so your wheels aren't just grinding the inside of the fenders. But check out probably hundreds of videos on YouTube of people jumping their Tacomas or racing through the desert. 99 times out of 100, those are Prerunners. Next up, the capability of the Tacoma Prerunner is sometimes or often based just on the capabilities of the driver and what they're willing to put their truck through. Of course, you know, oftentimes you might have to take like a slightly different line to get up on some kind of technical obstacle versus a 4x4, which can just crawl up since they have the two front tires aiding as well. But sometimes with a little creativity and balls of steel, if you will. You can get up the same exact obstacle if you're not worried about maybe dinging your truck just a little bit. And as a side note, from that video I linked earlier, yes, my buddy did get a little trail damage on his Tacoma trying to get up on that steep rock, but in both instances, it was sort of like 1 in a million shots. The first time where he dinged his door panel, none of us could have predicted, and I don't think any of you would either, that his slider where it hit the rock would actually split that rock in half, causing the top part of the rock to actually go up and jag into his door. Where 99 times out of 100, you would assume the rock would just shatter or bounce the truck off. So that was a 1 in a million shot. No one could have predicted that. The other part where he actually bent his, I think it was his front passenger spindle, throwing his tires sort of out of alignment. He just happened to miss the ramp, and since it was a pre-runner, he was carrying a little bit of speed trying to get up the obstacle. So he missed the small rock ramp we built and actually slammed into the bigger rock with a little more force than intended. So honest mistake, could happen to anybody. But again, if you're determined and you have a pre-runner, you'll probably be surprised with what you can get accomplished in your Tacoma. And again, maybe hardcore off-roading's not for you. If you just want a Tacoma to maybe go camping every now and then, to be able to tackle light dirt roads, not necessarily like off-roading, just to go camping or just do light wheeling, Prerunner might be a better option for you, because I think just in general, the markup between the trim models for whatever Tacoma you're looking at, between the 4x4 model versus the Prerunner, is usually about $3,000 to $5,000 if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure some of you will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's at least a few $1,000s. So if you think of it, you can take that few grand and put it into getting a rooftop tent, or if you're doing a camping build, you can use that money that you're saving by getting a Prerunner and put it into camping gear or whatever else you want for like a light overland build. So keep all of that in mind. All right, everyone, so what I presented today is really just scratching the surface on why a Prerunner build can be fun and entertaining, and it might be right for you. If you have any more suggestions on why this is the case that I left out in this video, go ahead and comment below, let me know, share your thoughts on that. Let's have a fun discussion down in the comments about why you think a Prerunner is for you, or why it's not, and why it's a waste of money. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and supporting the channel by watching this video. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. Check out the Tacomaholic shop, Tacomaholic Patreon page, and Tacomaholic on Teespring. Help me grow the channel by supporting it that way. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.